Hi everyone, so I'm here to talk about this foundation. It is the Revolution Conceal and Define Soft Matte Full Coverage Foundation. The shade I have is F0.2N. I didn't even notice it was N. And I thought this was going to be like a replacement for this. This is the Conceal and Define Full Coverage Foundation in F0.2. I did do some looking and reading on the Revolution site to see what the deal is with the little undertone notations. I would kind of take it with a grain of salt because some things that are labeled cool and warm that were the same look like vastly different undertones to me. So I'm not sure what that's all about. But this, I think, was supposed to be the same as this. I don't know. Maybe the N is to indicate it has less warmth. This is definitely paler and has less yellow than this one. So if you are paler than me, it might be good. It might be great. But before I get too much into it, let's take a look at the swatches of these two foundations and how they compare to each other and other things in my collection. All right, swatches. So this is the new Revolution Conceal and Define Soft Matte in F0.2. This is the original Conceal and Define Full Coverage in the matte formula in F0.2. This is also F0.2 from Revolution. It's a new product. It's the Super Fix in F0.2. For something that is a good shade match for me, MAC Studio Fix Fluid in NC5, the new version. For something that's also very pale and a little bit too pale for me, that's similar to the Revolution, I think, is the NYX, the new one, not the Can't Stop Won't Stop, what is it? Make 'em Wonder. The new NYX Make 'em Wonder in Pale. And something else from the drugstore that is still yellow toned but a little bit darker is the L'Oreal Infallible Freshwear. I love this formula even though it has fragrance and alcohol. And this is 390 Snow. So as you can see, this was definitely paler. This one has more yellow. It has more of a cool yellow undertone. For me, that is the undertone I'm working with. I don't have strong yellow undertones, but that is the color that the rest of my skin is. So I am trying to take down the redness in my face, get it to be a closer match to my neck and my body. I found this to generally be a good shade match for me, and now that this has less of that yellow to it, this is a little bit pale for me. So I'm 46 years old. I'm dealing with fine lines, more visible pores. I have like broken capillaries that sometimes can be a little tricky, making my cheeks and nose look a little bit extra red. I like light to medium coverage. I don't want to cover my freckles, and it's hard to cover freckles, and I don't want to, but I do just want to take down the redness, even at my skin tone, and get it a little bit closer to the rest of me if I'm going to be wearing foundation. So one thing I will mention right away, I really dislike this packaging. Generally, I really like squeezy tubes, but this is like a flip top, which makes it kind of dangerous because you can fling foundation everywhere. And it's just very messy. It's a very liquidy product, and it can just kind of, there's a fairly large opening into this, at this top of this bottle. So sometimes if you just kind of tip it, it starts pouring out without squeezing. So definitely open it upright, you know, kind of be careful when you open and close to make sure it's not like spraying foundation everywhere. So I don't like that. I think this would have been served better with something kind of like this. This is the NYX Make 'em Wonder. I don't love that this is just like you pull off the top, but this has a smaller opening and it has a cap that you remove. I think ideally what I would like is like a twist off cap for this kind of formula, foundation, whatever. The first time I wore this, I did try using my e.l.f. Invisible SPF, which is a very silicone heavy SPF like makeup primer. A lot of foundations work great over that, but this one, it just did not apply well. So what I have used the past couple times is the Paula's Choice Daily Super Light Daily Wrinkle Defense. This is great for This grabs onto foundation really well. In general, I find that it kind of extends the longevity of foundation for me. However, it can be a little bit dry for my skin, so I really do need to make sure I have the right kind of skin prep in order to wear it. If you have oily skin, I think this is an awesome option. I tried to really pay attention to how this wore. I set it with my favorite setting powder, NARS Light Reflecting Setting Powder Pressed, along with that Paula's Choice. And the last time I did that, it got pretty patchy on my chin by the end of the day. So it was that kind of polka dotted. I'll insert a picture of how it wore. The rest of my face looked okay. It was just like this region, it was starting to break down. This is a problem I have had with many foundations, like every single NARS foundation I have ever tried, every formula type, dewy, matte, in between, they all do this to me. And some formulas just seem to do it. And so we'll see. I tried a different powder today. I think it looks really nice. The powder like really kind of almost, the powder really seemed to kind of soften some of the lines around here, which is the hardest place for me to deal with because I have that pretty deep crease in the corners of my mouth. Plus I have that seborrheic dermatitis there, which makes it prone to like flaking. But it looks really nice. So let's just get a little closer here. So that is kind of a more satin finish powder, but it really set this quite nicely. But I am pretty glowy. Plus being under these lights, it really enhances any sort of like reflective properties. But I think so far it looks really nice. So that was the only issue I really noticed after wearing it all day and like really checking up on it before I removed it, was how it broke down on my chin. So we'll see if it lasts better with this powder. And I will insert a photo to be sure if it looks better. So it can be a little bit frustrating when the shade name stays the same, especially within a formula, and the color is different. I do like, if it's going to do anything, I would much rather that it be paler than the previous offering versus darker, just because there are very few like extremely pale foundations out there. And for the people that are a little bit paler than me, you know, you don't have a lot of options. So it's always nice to have another option. And this one is of a more yellow toned variety. Like we saw in the swatches, I do think it's pretty similar to the color of the NYX. I think they're pretty similar type foundations, like as far as the type of formula, you know, you're dealing with like a matte foundation. As you can see here, like it doesn't look matte on me, partially because of the lights and everything, but it doesn't have like a really heavy powder finish. It does say that it's soft matte, and if you use a more matte powder, then you're going to get more of a matte finish. But with that kind of more luminous powder, it definitely stayed looking very luminous. And I feel like my skin is not tacky after I set it, which is great. I did basically set everywhere. That Paula's Choice SPF is very grippy, and it can be hard to remove even though it's not water resistant. So I do usually need to wash my face twice when I'm wearing it, similar to like a water resistant SPF. So overall, I think it's okay. It's a good price. You don't get a ton of product. If you're, you know, looking to actually finish a bottle of foundation, that does, you know, affect the price. It's like actually more like $10 to $12 versus $8 if you were to be getting that full ounce. So that's definitely something to consider when you are purchasing it. So I think that's about all I have to say about this one. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. If you use the old formula, if you tried out the new one, what you thought. Have you been, you know, wronged by the packaging? I certainly have. I'm pretty sure I have a dot of foundation on this shirt now. Anyway, I think that's about all. I hope you're having a good one, and I'll see you soon. So I